Hey everybody, how y'all doing? This your cousin Chief up here at GC Radio, and today I have the privilege of having my co-host King Glow with me, and also Miss Perkins. She is a phenomenal boxer and making moves in the boxing world and boxing history. I'd like to thank you, Miss Perkins, for joining us today. And how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me today.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Glow, you want to start off with asking a question?
You already know I'm ready to jump into it. Say what, say what, say what. Hey, listen. So first of all, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show and giving us your time. I do want to ask you, how did you get started? And normally we interview a lot of men. So my questions are going to just be coming at you. So you got to excuse me. But how did you get started in boxing? Where did you get your start? Like, when did you start?
Well, I'm a boxer now, but originally I was a basketball player. So I played at
Okay.
St. University, then I played overseas for a bit. And after a career-ending injury, I always in the back of my mind just felt like I wasn't done competing. Like I wanted to do something else. I never really thought it would be boxing, but once I got into boxing, it was one of those things that was like natural. So, I actually started boxing when I was like 30.
Okay. Okay. Now, let me ask you this. You know, I know that, Layla Ali and the others paved the way for and made it, where women, they were taken serious. When you made that transition, how hard was it? And like, did you run into any obstacles with people, going, okay, are you serious, like taking you serious, coming from being a in one sport arena to the next sport arena?
Well, it was more along the lines of like people taking me too seriously. Like I really didn't get a chance to like, when
Oh.
people are like, "Oh, you want to start boxing?" I was like, "No, I just want to like hit the mitts and kind of like, no, you should start fighting. Like you're big, you're strong, you're fast." And I was like, "Wait, no, I just want to box." Like
Oh,
it
they
was like,
did you like I do my cousin, huh?
yeah, real quick turnaround.
Get
I
in
was
there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now, for you, when did you realize along the way, was it your first fight or was it through your training, sparring? When did you realize that you were good at it?
Well, there were a couple of world champions at the gym. Like originally when the first place to ever take me serious was this gym called X Boxing by my house, and they had two up and coming very now very famous boxers, Amanda Serrano and Cindy Serrano. They were there with their trainer Jordan,
Okay.
and where I first started to learn to actually be like actual boxing training, and they trained very hard. But the boxing gym only had like really small fighters, so um, there was I learned a lot about my hands, foot speed. Also taught me a different way of boxing, so I didn't box like a heavyweight. So the next place I went was uh, a world champion boxer, and the coach I was working with, he said, "Get in the ring with her, and just work." Almost like if I was doing her a favor, and I'm like scared to death. I'm like, she's world champion. Like, I don't know what you see. He was like, no, 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 just have some fun. Um, yeah. So it ended up being a very one-sided fight, and he was like, I told you, don't worry about it.
Hmm.
So I
Okay.
get.
Okay. And that
That's wonderful.
and that was the point where, like, you realized like this is something you really wanted to do.
No, it was like one of the I guess one of those moments where like the anxiety left and I was like, oh, I actually could be good at this sport just based
Okay.
who was in front of me. I was like, I felt no danger, like able to compete, also able to like kind of create the situation that would make me feel comfortable even under like stress and I was like, I'm handling this pretty well and I've only been boxing for like 2 months.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. So you are fearless. I love it. Cuz, go ahead. I know you're dying to
So,
ask some questions.
yeah. So, did you go straight in professional? Did you do any amateur fighting, or they just threw you in there?
Well, so originally I did a club show because kudos to that world champion. She was like, you need to get some amateur fights under your belt. And New York City doesn't have a novice, so like my first fight was against a woman who had like 15 fights. Um, and I credit that to like nerves and like being twitchy like a chicken. I went out there and I knocked her out in like 40 seconds. I was just like, oh.
Whoa.
So I was like, I didn't you like you. It's one of those things like you think you're really prepared for your first fight, and then the reality of that ring walk really settles things in when you walk into the ring. You're like, oh no, this is like for real. And
Because before you got on, I told her I was going to challenge her to some weak fit, but I'm like, nah, she hit the button before me. She didn't even hit the button.
Oh man. Oh wow. Your first fight, you knocked someone out. That's crazy.
it was
Ooh,
scary.
how did you feel?
Like, so like walking to the ring, like a lot of confidence, the day of,
Right.
felt rested, right? And then of course, like, they call your name for like the bout. Like you're gonna like, they call the bouts out. They're like, all right, you're gonna be bout number 4. So you're like over there, you're like, all right, cool. And then people start warming up, and like even then you're still feeling pretty good. And then uh everyone starts getting dressed. You're like, oh crap, this is for real. So by the time I walk to the ring, like my fists are like, oh god, like what's gonna happen? And I was I was
Said
just
my fists are like, what's gonna happen?
scared. I was like, what's happening right now?
Don't
Uh,
fail us. Don't fail us.
Oh
yeah,
shit.
it was crazy because I walked. I'd only known sparring, so I always knew to touch gloves, and you don't do that in a fight.
Oh.
Yeah, you touch gloves in the center ring, and then once the bell rings, it's go time. So I didn't, I'm used to do it. Like, it's friendly, right? Let's touch gloves. So I touched gloves, and she like punched me straight in the face. I was like, what is, I went ballistic on her. I was like, a part of me just blacked out, and I went just a punching. And then it was over. And it was released.
Damn.
Oh, that was it.
That's crazy.
That was
So
all
you
she.
was trying to be nice and touch gloves. She punched you in the face, and you said, "You know what? Your fist." You said your fist was wondering what was going on. They knew after that. They was like, "Oh, we about to she getting these skibbity paps."
That's right. She definitely get skibbity pat paps.
Oh my goodness! Now I gotta ask you. After that, did you do the you do the scream like hell yeah?
I looked over. It was almost like coming out of a trance because I looked over and like her nose and her mouth was bleeding. I'm like, what happened? What happened to her? Oh my goodness.
It's like, did I do that?
She got hammer punched. Somebody, girl.
Oh
so,
wow.
so my question here, after the first fight, and like you say, after the first punch, actually, the confidence came in, and you know what you're doing, and the preparation. What advice do you have for people that want to get in the ring? Do you think they need to be more amateur fights, or they need to work on the speed? Because you're already athletes, so you had speed, agility, and stamina. What do you think is some of the key that make the transition easy for you?
I feel like it's gonna be different for a lot of, like, I feel like football players and basketball players, the transition is not gonna be that as difficult because you're used to, like, I mean, I used to get elbowed in the face, pushed, knocked out. Like, you get into the basket, you getting roughed up trying to make your way into from the Big East, like girls from UConn, like everyone's big game. Like the girls are big, so like I try to get to the rim. I'm actually having a full on fight with 3 people on my way to a layup. So I feel like now that I get to hit back and it's not a foul, I feel like it's a safer situation and it's one on one. Same thing like,
Right.
you know, running backs, linemen, same thing. They're used to like full contact sports. But if you play like tennis or you're a figure skater or you're like a gymnast, I feel like this is an impossible. I mean, it is a transition. It's a totally different sport because football players and basketball players, you've played hurt plenty of times, and that's
Mhm.
normal. Like your coach always tries to make you distinguish between are you injured or are you hurt. I'm like they feel the same,
There is a difference.
right? But they feel the same.
Right.
So I feel in boxing, there's a point where you're getting punched in the face, and depending on the situation, this person is like either fighting for survival or like literally fighting for their life. So it's almost like trying to put a raccoon in the corner. They're gonna try to claw your eyes out. So
Mhm.
if you're not prepared to handle that kind of pressure and still press forward, um, maybe not boxing.
Yeah. Do
well,
you
well,
think that your I'm sorry. Um do you think that your skills um in whoa, where it happened? Hello?
we hear you.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It everything went away on my screen. Do you think that your skills in the sport actually helped you? Like, like the skills, like not just being athletic, but you know, um, the like, you have to be fast on your feet. You can't be fumbling in basketball. You running up and down the court. You got to move quick. You know what I'm saying? Doing all of that stuff. Do you think that, like those types of things, hand-eye coordination, because those are things you pretty much had coming in. Do you think that helped?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's very different. So like my hand-eye coordination is anticipating something coming and there's like a lot of space between. Um Understanding distance also helps. Like I feel like one of the best boxers that you can watch to understand distance is Usyk. Usyk understands distance, meaning yours, and also how much space he has because the distance between I think the person's front foot and their face is very important, or their body, something that you can land a punch and being able to react when they react, right? Like, so those little micro movements that people make in boxing are similar to like jab steps when someone's trying to get to the basket, when they start to swing through and you're trying to read their body movements on the jab step, that changes a lot on how you react to like punches.
Well, I heard her say your skill set. No, no, like you said earlier, you going to the hoop for the layup, and you getting fouled by three people. But this time you get to fight back. So there's no hoop to make the basket, but the G's is hopefully like they block off and lock them down and get your rest. Um, what is the training like for boxing versus basketball? Is it more intense or just different kind of training? How you evaluate the training?
So a lot of like basketball training is like with the team, right? And you do like team workouts. Even in college and even in the pros, like a lot of things are broken up into like groups of three. So you like in the pros, you'll train with your position group. So like all the threes, all the fours, all the point guards, whatever. They all have their like a workout like for that group. And as a pro boxer, you only work on things to make you as a pro boxer better, more efficient, more effective. So I feel like boxing training actually is more specific to like the singular athlete performance,
Okay.
um, versus like, because I mean, the team performance, like, let's just think about it, right? So if you're the number one player on your team and you go down, does that mean that your team can't win? Sometimes, your team can still win without you. In some cases, your team might be better if everyone ought to shoot shots, not just you.
Well, in boxing, you have to shoot all the shots. Your staff, your trainer, and everything else outside of the ring. The only thing they can help you with is putting that stool in and give you some water and
That's
advice when to get it in between rounds. But it's only you, and how well you prepare. And boxing is kind of like track and field. It's an individual sport that you have to be fit in. I remember when I was in high school, my mom told me about it. If I played sports, I didn't have to wash dishes. And why did she tell me that? I hate dishes. So I played football. I tried out for basketball. Didn't make that. We were the only high school that had a rugby team, so I played rugby until this guy got his face bone stepped on
oh,
in reconstruction, and I quit then. But the rugby shirts, I love rugby shirts. They were cool. Track and field. This funny. I made the relay team, and first match, coach took me right back off because I lost a large lead, but I did make the team. I'm being honest. I'm just to keep 100 show. We got to keep it 100. I did make the team, but I lost a large lead, and they took me off the relay,
he's like,
and I just did the shot put and the discus after that. Yeah.
oh, okay.
But I didn't have to watch this. I stayed on the team. I wrestled. I did some of everything, but um, and it was a difference that when we wrestled, there was a certain training. When we played football, it was a certain training. And basketball was just mainly a bunch of running, like lifting weights, but you don't lift as heavy as you do football, but you do a lot more reps. So all the training was different. And being an athlete, I was able to pretty much play every sport except for baseball. I didn't have a great eye for catching the ball. I caught more balls with my head and my eye. But I could hit. I could hit. It just wasn't catching balls good, coming down fast. But with boxing, you never know how fast or swift someone could swing. So, you have to be able to, like you said, anticipate where they might try to hit you, what they're going to do next, and be able to move not only your head and body out the way, but the footwork. It's a lot into it. So, like you said, the more agile you are and speed and agility you have from your other sports will make the transition seem to be a little bit easy. But I take my hats off and give you all praises because I don't care what you're trained for. Somebody trying to take your head off, you had a level head trying to counter defense. It takes a special needs person in the heart. Like I said, now I don't even know if I want to challenge you on a Wii Fit, let alone get in the ring with you. It takes a special individual, man. It got to be in the heart. It's not something you just say, "Hey, I'm gonna try boxing." You got to have that in your heart because I know if somebody hits you, I'm like, "Oh, that hurt," and you got to
Sometimes,
return that favor.
sometimes I think about that. I'm like, and like, and also you acknowledge it. You get so accustomed to like, especially if I mean, I always think about that. Like, someone standing across when they do land a good shot, I let them know. I'm like, not a good shot. You're not gonna get it twice, and if you do,
Man, I
but
had to turn to 50 Cent. Get the strap. You're like, you can't do that, Rosendahl. Robert, you can't do that. Get the strap.
yeah, you load them up though. I definitely, I got something coming for you. It's not gonna last too long.
So you told us your first fight you knocked the champ out. You go back to the drawing board and you're training, and then how did you come up with this fight from there? I mean, it's like because I think the
Oh,
next fight against Carissa Shields and how did the match come about?
oh, well,
We got Glow
so
back.
I was like, I'm just a talking and a talking. They can't hear me.
Your
Oh, but go
mic was
ahead and
off.
answer that question because I had a question for you.
so yeah, like that fight. My first fight happened, and my next fight was against the USA heavyweight, and I'm on the Team USA heavyweight for the Golden Glove Championship. That was my second fight. I won that. Um,
Okay.
then I had some other fights, and then I made Team USA a couple times. I won the Continental Championship. I medaled at Worlds at 2018 in New Delhi. Then I won World Championships 2019. Um, and then I went pro. And I've fought under Clarissa Shields, man, promoter Salida. For a while I was signed to Salida and we had the same management. So like me and Clarissa have had like a decent relationship. I'm pretty sure that's gonna change in like the next couple of weeks. But you know, I actually fought on her undercard for her heavyweight fight in July. And yeah, basically asked her, I was like, are you gonna defend that belt? Because if you are, I'd like to fight you.
Oh, okay.
That was polite. I want to whip
That
your
was
ass.
real
You want to
nice.
step in the ring with me?
That was very nice. That was a very nice way of saying, hey, you want to defend that belt? Because I would love to give you these skibbity paps. Let me go ahead and box your head in real quick. No, let me stop. But let me ask you this. So now, which you pretty much just answered it by just, I mean, you got to feel comfortable, because I was going to say, like, when you get in the ring now, how do you feel when you're, you step into the ring now as opposed to back then? What's the, the difference? But I could tell you already got the confidence. You asking heavyweights, hey, let's box. I love the way you put that. You gonna defend that belt? You got balls. That's real smooth. I gotta ask, where are you from?
Your hands.
Where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay, makes sense. She said you gonna defend that belt. Oh my God, I ain't never heard nobody say nothing like that.
No,
She got that Brooklyn. Oh shoot.
Most people, I mean, I think it's I mean, you closed mouth don't get fed. So if you don't ask,
that's right. I know that's right.
Let me go in
That's
the
cool.
I'm losing it. There's a thunderstorm coming through.
Oh boy, that means it's coming my way. you might escape it, cuz, but it's definitely coming my way.
Get out.
Yeah, ain't no gray clouds out here.
You blessed. So let me ask you a question. You mentioned a minute ago that you medaled. So which weight class and what medal did you get?
So I'm actually a heavyweight. So I've been fighting heavyweight my whole career. So in Worlds at 2018 in New Delhi, I tore my ACL during the medal rounds, so I got a bronze, and it wouldn't let me compete. I felt like I couldn't get to the gold, but the doctor wouldn't allow me to back, and I beat the defending world champ for gold.
That's amazing. So you got the chance to fight the world champ, but you didn't get the gold?
No, I got the gold.
Okay.
I'm talking about. What was it like? What was it like when you got the gold medal?
Well, it was like a rebound year because I got hurt the year before, and it was a lot of things I had to do before I got to Worlds. Like, I had to recover a period of time, and then I had to fight, like defend. I had to do a box off to beat the person who won nationals. And I beat so bad, they threw the towel in. I tried to destroy that girl. It was like methodical, and it was quick, and it was heartless. I was like, anything this girl get beat to death.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Determination and not giving up. People say that, you don't succeed, it's an L. I don't think it's an L, it's a learning curve. It's only an L if you give up. As long as you move in, it's a learning lesson to reach your destination and reach your goal. And you're showing persistence with that.
So are you a methodical fighter all the time? Is that how you approach it?
I don't know. I think I'm a crazy person most of the time.
So are you one of those people, if somebody hits you and they get a good hit in, you about to, that they should have never did that?
Well, I mean, I think most of the time, like that would have been me in the amateurs. Me as a pro is I'm gonna set a couple of traps and I'm gonna let you fall into the traps, and then I'm gonna try to break your nose or break a cheek or bust a lip. Like you're gonna be very impressed with the way that you were set up. Like I feel like because it's like it's chess, so like there's so many moves you have to make in order to allow someone to consistently make the same mistake, just to
Yeah.
be sure that you're setting the right trap. And so, like, pawns are there to actually be distractions. So you put them in place to make sure, like, you're making the right decision. And
Right.
yeah,
So let
usually, mm,
you say what? Usually what?
usually people will allow it because they're like, "Yeah, I'm getting the best of you." I'm like, "Fantastic. Yes, you are."
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you this: like knowing, being under Clarissa, being under her, in her, being on her fighting team. I won't say being under her, being opening for her fighting, and being in the same arena, and managers or trainers as her, um, and now getting this fight, even back, at that time, were you studying her? Did you know? Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. Did you know you wanted to fight her even back then?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because
Have you
I'm
guys
not
ever
gonna
sparred
lie, I'm
together?
like, you just seem like you think your stuff, you already know, like, you you already think ahead of who you want, like, yeah, okay, I'm coming for you, like, I'm coming. And so, have you studied her? Do you study her to, how people study games and things like that? Do you
Oh
take
yeah, no,
that same approach?
there's not a fight that the Clarissa has had that I haven't watched.
Oh, okay.
Have you
Okay.
guys ever sparred before?
No. Every time it's interesting because every time it was supposed to happen, something happened that prevented it.
Oh, wow.
It was like, oh man, this is never gonna happen.
So
Oh,
y'all just gonna go straight into the fight.
yeah, I mean, it's almost better, right? I feel like it makes it like an element of surprise. I'm like, what is she gonna
Yeah.
like what
Yeah.
I've said that plenty of times, like even in our face off, I was like, I wonder what she's thinking. I'm curious.
Man, we got to make it to the fight, guys. We got to make it there on the second. We got to be ringside. We got to make it to the fight.
That's what's up. I'm very impressed. Just with your demeanor, you seem like, honestly, that, basketball, was your thing, but you just moved right into a whole nother arena, just smooth, and it fits you. You have the charisma. You have the cockiness. You have it. You got it. Like, it's there, and it's just so smooth. Like, oh, she's smooth with it. Like, okay, I see you. Like, just laid back. Like, yeah, when I get this ring, I'm gonna kick her ass. But we didn't get to spar, but we got she. It's all good. You
You know,
just so laid back with it, and it's just like, okay, I see you. I see you. Like, it fits you. Like, boxing seems to fit you. And how do you like it so far?
oh, I love boxing. There was a period for 3 years that I was like stalled out and I couldn't get a fight. And one of my teammates, he said, every single day you came to the gym, every single day without the promise of anything, you came to the gym, you worked hard, you sparred. And he goes, now look at you. You gained a world championship. I was like, no, the whole point of all those days was for this. Like, you don't wait for like good things to happen. You just keep working till good things happen. And then
Right.
this is not an opportunity that I'm taking lightly, and it's not an opportunity that I'm knocking till good things happen. And
Right.
this is not an opportunity that I'm.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Um, One thing that I noticed though, like my cousin said, people sometimes say that people that are overconfident or conceited And I tell them it's not conceit, it's convinced, because conceited leave a small error of judgment for being wrong. Convinced is definitely certifying that I'm right. And you seem definitely convinced.
Listen, assured, like calm with it too.
Yeah,
Smooth,
you know.
like
Yeah,
Muhammad Ali, like nonchalant about it. Like, yeah, it's what I do. Like, okay, get it then. That's what's up. I'm loving it. Like, um, so what does training look like for you coming into something like this? Like, what is your daily? What time you wake up? How do you go about your regimen?
Well, I mean, usually we have training in the afternoon, but like strength and conditioning morning, or like run in the morning around like 6 a.m. and done. So I have time to recover and eat and get ready for it. But yeah, no, it like we train all the time, so it's not like training camp does anything more but like increase the intensity. Like things just become way more intense and like more specific. So I'm always in shape all year round, but now I have to like just tighten up my diet and just prepare for like, sparring is no longer just like working on little things. Like now we're working on this fight, and we're bringing in, guys, you know, around the weight of the person I'm fighting. So like majority of people 5, but there's going to be a portion just to make sure I stay honest. That's just like a real fight portion of sparring. That is, we fight full on fight. So I'm not sure how other people do training camp, but when the dudes come into my training camp, they're not taking it like they have to fight for their life, because I'm gonna fight them.
Ooh.
That's different. That's the only difference.
Okay.
I'm kind of glad I didn't challenge you in We Fit now.
Yeah, cause you. Let me tell you right now, I would have just had to jump on her back. That's all I can tell you. I can help you with. I'd have jumped on her back for you, but I think we both would have got our ass beat. But hey.
Well, at least I would have got to press a button or two.
Oh my goodness. But this is so cool. So let me ask you this. How did your family and friends, like, how did they take the transition from pro basketball player to pro fighter? Like, were they like, what?
Yeah, no, my mom hated it. Well, she hated the idea, and then she showed to my first fight and automatically a fan. So that was like, yeah, my mom and my sister, my grandmother, just recently started watching my fights. Um,
Okay.
but she's always called champ, so that always feels good when my grandma calls me the champ. She's no matter what. But she said to me, because my last fight, I played around a little bit just for like
Yeah.
show. You know, those fights get kind of boring. We just beat somebody up. Um, my grandmother said to me on her 95th birthday, "Don't you play around with Clarissa. You better take her seriously. Don't you fool around with that girl." I was like, I
She
was like,
said, so pretty much your grandma said, listen, don't go in there playing, take her out. Take her out.
that's the same thing my grandma said, and then my mom said, your last fight, you goofed around most of the fight. You better knock this girl out. I was like, goodness, mommy, like a knockout takes years off of someone's life. She said, you heard what I said. I was like, all right.
Hey, that's what's up. That is what's up. So now, do you still stay in the same neighborhood? Well, I'm just asking. Some people don't. Some people do. Stay around the same neighborhood that you grew up in.
Well, I mean, I have an apartment there, so like I still have my apartment there, but I live in Houston, like
Okay.
Guardian. But when I go home, you know, I'm on the same block in the same building.
Oh,
It
that's cool.
Yeah, it's safe now. It's gentrified. Like when I was growing up, it was like insane. That place, listen. people in the country have like all these cool like stories of like swimming in the creek and whatnot. I got crackhead stories. I got
You got big city life stories.
yeah.
I feel you.
We didn't have any grass. We got concrete jungle stories. They're insane.
Right. I know that's right. I know that's right. So you still stay in the same block. That's what's up, though. That's awesome. Um, so like after this fight, I know this is what you're focused on. Like what's next for you?
Oh, I
I
haven't
know it's
really.
gonna be. I know it's gonna be big brands because you're gonna win. So you
Yeah,
know that part.
yeah, I hadn't really. I only got one mission only.
I feel you.
You know, that's it. I got 4 belts to bring back to Houston. I told my grandma I'm gonna bring those belts up to Rochester so she can see them. But
Oh,
that's it. That's
I
all I
know
got.
that's right.
So I got whatever happens afterwards. Like I'm cool with, but for real, on the second, I only got one thing to do.
Right, and that's come home with them belts.
That's it. Nothing else.
I know that's right. I know that's right. So how you feeling? I mean, when you found out, what was that like? Because it's one thing to ask and say, "Hey, you gonna defend it?" I would like the shot, but when it was official and you found out, like you actually got the fight, what was going through your head? How did you feel?
And
Look
I
at you!
called.
Look at her put her hands together. You thought she was. She was like, hell yeah! Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever had like tears of joy before.
Uh huh.
That was the first time I called my sister, and I just was like, I can't believe it. Like, and then I didn't really look at the contract as much as I just saw like her name versus my name, and I was like, yes. I was like, and I called my sister, and me and her talked. We talked for a while, and I was like, all right, this is it. This is like exactly what I wanted. And like it's all not often people get what they want. You know,
Right. Right. Facts. Facts. And this is that was a big one. And just
it
the
was.
fact that you went after it and asked, like, that is amazing. Like, and you got it. Like,
Yeah, that,
whoa.
that doesn't happen often in life.
Right. Like, man, that is that's something. And I mean, hey, listen, man, hats off to you for real. That's some real walking. I always tell people continue to live in their greatness and walk in their power whenever we part ways. And that is some real living in your greatness and walking in your power to manifest that, to just, hey, speak it into your existence. Hey, what you doing with that belt? You gonna defend that? Because I want a shot at that. And then for you to actually get the contract, like, that's crazy. So when did you find out? Where were you at the moment that you found out? Like, did your team call you?
Yeah,
How did you find out?
I was on my way to practice, and my promoter called me, and he was like, "Hey, I'm sending that contract your way." I was like, "What contract?" He was like, "The Shields contract. It's coming in your inbox. It should be there like later on today." I was like, "What? For real?" He was like, "Oh yeah, no, we're good to go." I was like, "All right." And then I looked at the contract, and it had all these additional belts. I was like, "Wait a minute." And I texted him. I said, "Is this a unification?" He was like, "Oh yeah, it's unification." I was like, "You got what?" All
So
right.
not only you got the match, you got a belt match. To do the unification of the belt, so that make it a little sweeter.
Well, 4. And then I went down to the WBA convention, and they were like debating on if they were gonna jump on to be a part of this event because they don't have a heavyweight belt. And so the WBA opened up and added this weight class for this fight.
Whoa. So this will be a new belt added. You know what? Okay, doing big things. Okay, okay.
So let me ask you,
Oh wow.
which is the green belt, the WBC?
Yeah, I have the WBC silver, and Clarissa has the WBC gold.
Oh wow. Wow. So it's a whole new belt on the line because of this fight.
Yeah,
Wow. That's
interesting.
amazing. That is amazing. That's amazing. That is amazing. Cause I don't want to step on your toes.
No, I'm just over here, just amazing, like wow, like I told her earlier, I withdraw my challenge on a We Fit.
I'm not finna fool with you.
I'm standing on business on that one.
Hey, look, you have fun with that. I'm gonna sit over here and go, okay, you tapping out, cuz?
Man, I don't want the controller vibrate out my hands. I gotta buy a new controller. I'm cool. I'll be a spectator. I'll be a spectator. But I am honestly, Miss Perkins. I want to say, take my hat off to you. As athlete, to have an injury to end one career and start another one, and come in forceful as you are, and the hard work and dedication. And like I said, it's not about being cocky or conceited. It's being convinced and knowing what you can do, putting your mind forward. And like you said, your mindset on one thing. And it's two people enter the ring, and one person will come out victorious. So, I would like to see you meet your goal. We're definitely gonna try. We're definitely gonna see the fight. Hopefully, we can be at the fight. So we gotta get some tickets, guys. We gotta make it to the fight.
You know, listen. I want to be there and go live. Listen, I want to be there. So listen, I want to get that first interview coming out that ring. like, hey. Oh, listen. I want to do that. You do the lock your eye thing. Like, hey, I see you. I see you. You did that. like for real. Like, wow. But I just want to, again, hats off to you. I love the confidence. I love the smoothness, just the way you carry yourself. You're so smooth and laid back, and just you walk in the knowing. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people that all the time. Like you got to live in the knowing. Fuck hope. Fuck all that. When you wake up, you know that there's gonna be a ground under your feet, and that's how you got to live life. You can't be wondering. You got to know. And I appreciate you for being one of those people that you know your path. You know what you're capable of, and you know what you came to do. And you making this stuff happen. And I can't wait to see you come out that ring victorious. I can't wait to see the fight. I want to see the fight because I got to see this smooth person right here in the ring. I got to see it. It's just like, oh my God, I want to see it live. Like, so we're definitely going to tune in. Definitely going to tune in. And so let's let the people know where they can find you and learn more about you.
Well, I'm on Instagram. It's Chambers Chambers 11221. I'm on Facebook, but never really checks that at all.
I feel you.
I'm pretty sure there's like a lot of messages, especially since this fight came out, that people want to talk and whatnot. I'm pretty low key, so especially with like these moments, I lock in pretty. Um, like it just gets pretty intense. Like I can actually zone out everything else. Nothing's more important. Um,
Right.
but yeah, for these moments, it's time to just like to lock in, and I can do that. So if I do miss you on social media, it's not personal.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. And Cuz,
Yeah. Once again, I'd like to thank you for coming in on the K100 show with us, and giving us the insight and keeping it 100 with us. We also appreciate you for giving us the opportunity to monopolize part of your day. And like I said, we got to make it to the show, guys. We got to make it to the show.
man, hey.
My birthday the day before, so that could be my birthday present to myself. We
Oh,
definitely got to make it to the show.
almost birthday.
Yeah, almost on the birthday. Matter of fact, February 2nd is Groundhog Day. That's
Uh-oh.
Groundhog Day, cuz.
Uh-oh.
Frank, is
Groundhog.
anything? Is there any words you want to give or wisdom to any aspiring boxers that want to get out there? Say to your fans before we sign off.
Well, I think most importantly is if you want to start boxing, start slow. Always believe in yourself. Even like, the good days are great, but the bad days are the ones that really make a difference. I think that if you're looking for a challenge, like boxing itself is a challenge, but most important, take care,
Okay.
take care of yourself. So one thing I've always learned is, don't let your ego drive you into a situation that you can't handle.
Let me ask this last question. What is the biggest sacrifice for boxing? I know you can't eat certain things, you're training, you have to cut out a lot of stuff, you can't go out and party, be out late. Um, what's the biggest sacrifice to get to where you are?
Well, I mean, I don't drink alcohol at all. Like, I also don't go anywhere. Like I go to bed at like 8:30, to make sure like I get enough sleep. And I always feel like the more sleep I get, I'm still not getting enough sleep. So, um, boxing turns you into a hermit. Like you just go inside constantly. Like you work out, you go inside. You go work out again, you go inside. Then you go lay down, and the day is over. Um, so like it, and the thing is, it just does not change much. So like when people take time off and like they gain a little weight, people are like, "Oh, they're getting out of shape." I'm like, "No, they're just living like a regular person, like enjoying their life, like they're hanging out and enjoying company." Like, no, like most of the time people don't understand. Like, no, if you call me at like 8:30, my phone's on silent. It's already shut off. I'm in bed. I'm asleep. Life is boring.
Hey,
Man,
that's
that's good. We getting to learn. I thought life like a rock star. Constant parties and this and that. Like, no, it's
No,
training,
complete
training,
opposite.
training, resting.
It's like being in a convent.
oh man. But hey, the rewards are sweeter. The rewards are much bigger. It's worth it. You know, championship belts, endorsements. Hey, then you get to live it up after the fact. You get a little bit loose, right? At least somewhat.
I mean, I think that also another thing I do realize is when you do represent a brand, you don't want to make those kind of mistakes. So
Right.
it's almost best to go right back in your house, so no one can TMZ you or Instagram you doing, because there's so many cameras everywhere that you almost have to be very mindful on like the things you say or the things that you post. Like once again, back into being a hermit, you got to be careful about anything that like my dark humor really could get me into a lot of trouble.
I feel you.
Wow.
I feel you on that. I got somebody over there that shocks me every day. I never know what they're going to
Me
say
and
when they
my
get on the radio.
big mouth. Me and my big mouth. I don't know what's gonna come out of my
I
big
never
mouth.
know what's going to come out of his mouth, and I'm always hitting him up like, dude, you going to get a fine for that. You going to get us fined. What are you doing?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, keep it real with you, Perkins. Um, my cousin let me loose on the radio station for a while. One day she tuned in, and then she's like, What did you just say?" I told people stop giving their pillow some head and get out of bed. It's a wake up morning show. Stop giving when you lay down, you give your pillow some head, go to sleep. You take the head off the pillow, you raise up. Stop giving your pillow some head and get out of bed. She's like, only your ass.
Listen, I'm like working on some contracts, and I'm tuning in to him, and I'm just working, and I'm like, okay, finalizing, looking it over, and all I hear is, "Stop giving your pillow head." I said, "Oh my God." No, he did not say that on the radio. I'm
Yeah,
like,
get out of bed.
what?
Get on your feet, cousin. Chief GC Radio, baby.
I said, "Oh my God!" When I tell you this one here, he makes my heart stop. So I definitely understand what you mean when you say you gotta be careful out there because this one here, I'm always waiting on the phone call. Yeah, y'all are fine. I'm like, oh my God, because I
The
never
call
know
has
what's
not
coming out
happened.
his
The
mouth.
call hasn't happened yet.
It
Let's knock
hasn't.
on some wood.
I will say that it has not happened, and thank God it hasn't. But
I'm
definitely,
sure.
it's been.
I'm sure. I'm sure I made the replay a couple of times. Wait, what exactly did he say?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Between that and move the meat in your seat, yeah, you did.
Hey,
I'm like,
what
what?
if you can't groove? If you can't groove on your feet, then you can move your meat in your seat. You know, hey, it's a party either way.
Listen, I don't. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Those are
You would be you'd be amazed by how many people tell me, "Hey, I'm at my job, tuning in, you jamming, I'm moving my meat in my seat, keep it going." You'd be amazed how many people inspired to party in their seat and still tuned in, you know, in their car or whatever, you know. And I just like to be their inspiration. Try to, you know, like I said at the end of my show, you know, I hope I leave you better than receive you with a smile on your face, in whatever place you may be in grace. You know, thank you for tuning GC Radio because you don't have to tune in. So I try to entertain and enlighten their day. We got enough stuff to make us frown and be serious about. So let's get silly with me for an hour and a half. You know, no big deal.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
you
you got to
always
stop
come
giving me a pillow some head and get out of bed to do it.
those are good. Those,
listen, he's crazy. But
those are good.
it's been a pleasure. Like it's been a pleasure. We would love to do a follow-up interview with you. Just to, keep going with you in your career and whatever your next steps are. We wish you the best.
Thank you.
Cause
Yeah, and I just like to add a little thing. I appreciate you guys, your camp and you for taking the interview with us. I really do. And just to let you know, Square Ring Magazine is not just a magazine for boxing. It's more like the entity of networking for boxing. You know, we do the conferences on Clubhouse. We have a yearly conference. Everybody come together. We bring together the promoters, the scheduled fighters, the ring announcers, the ring girls, the gym people on the different gyms to network in boxing. Boxing doesn't really have a networking entity of gateways. It's just a bunch of gatekeepers. So we try to bring everyone together under one umbrella, one roof. We also have a directory coming out, Who's Who in Boxing. And so I would love to have you back on one of our Clubhouse summits and just talk about the industry, moving, how you get in, what to do, some of the pitfalls and some of the rewards. I would really appreciate you come back and do that with us, and
Oh
we
yeah.
can have you in another issue for the magazine.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds like fun.
definitely.
Please
Well,
take
we
a look at the
appreciate it.
magazine and let us know, honest, any pros or cons or things we could do to change it. I really value someone of your status input on the magazine. It's a digital magazine online.
Cool. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Anything you want to say, Cuz, before we sign out?
Continue to live in your greatness and walk in your power. And again, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure meeting you and interviewing you. And
Thank
stay smooth because you are just too smooth for me.
I think this is the first. What was that?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Most
Thank you.
definitely.
Because I think this is the first time she got a W without even picking up the joystick and getting in the ring because I quit. But thank you again and everybody for tuning in. Miss Perkins, an event on the 2nd. Stay tuned for more. Cousin Chief GC Radio, Miss Perkins, also King Glow. Thank y'all for tuning into the K100 show.